You probably have heard it said that you need to feel into your desires and become one with them in order for you to have what you want. But what if I told you that's not necessarily true, and you don't actually have to hold on to that feeling to get what you want? Hi, if you're new to me, my name is Raquel, and I'm your GPS for success. I'm doing this series, and this is day 11 of 21 for Jesus lovers and Jesus appreciators, wanting to reconcile some of these manifestation practices or things that they've kind of been around to see, okay, what is true, what is not true, what has been exaggerated, what's actually woo-woo, what's not woo-woo, what's actually science. And a lot of the things that have been presented in these parts have been exaggerated to be very mystical, to be, energetics, to be all about like this woo-woo stuff. And now as more and more research comes out and even more books and people are talking about it, a lot of it is not. It's just really how you're wired to succeed. So today I'm tackling the topic around Rampage. If you know, you know. If you don't worry about it. And feelings to attract what you want. And this is actually what it is. I talked about that yesterday. In day 10, I will go ahead and link that below for ease of reference. But the way we are wired to succeed is we have been wired for love, which is part of success, right? We've been wired for success. I love this book title. We've been wired for success and programmed for failure by Jim Richards. And so we really have been wired to succeed. And neuroscience is now showing, yes, we have been wired for love, and fear is learned. So all this worry, doubt, anxiety, that comes up actually is a learned thing. And now we have two different systems inside of us, love and fear. And so think of them like two masters. And so then which system is going to be working? And that's where you come in. You are a free moral agent. And you get to decide which system is going to then be causing a domino effect. And so how do you then take your power back? And this is all going to tie into your feelings, your thoughts. See, your perceptions, you have a perception. Your perception is based on your belief systems. And then when a circumstance comes up, you take a thought about it. And your thought on it is what actually triggers this chemical bliss or chemical chaos, right? So the chemical bliss is the mechanism of love. Chemical chaos is a mechanism of fear, worry, doubt, anxiety. That's the other system. And depending on how you choose to take that thought is which system is going to work for you, in you, and on you. So you have this chemical reaction. It causes the emotions, the feelings, and that then triggers actions or non-actions. You might flee, you might fawn, you might freeze, you might do something, you might procrastinate, whatever it is, that action or non-action, and then you have a certain outcome. And this is the beautiful part of it, is that you can change your outcomes by just then choosing a new thought. You are one embodied thought away from the thought, not feeling, because the feeling is based on the thoughts you're thinking. So this is why when you've been told that to hold the feeling, you don't have to hold the feeling. I've manifested a lot of things not purposely holding on to any feeling. The feeling, people use the words feelings and emotions interchangeably, but they're not. Feelings is actually the language of your subconscious, which is like a steady undercurrent sense, that steady undercurrent emotion. Emotions is what really people are talking about in these spaces, but emotion is, it just comes up and it settles down. And you've experienced that. You've been driving or in a passenger seat and then somebody cuts you off and you're like, hey, and you take a thought about it and you have an emotion about it and you might have some actions about it or non-actions, or if you can, you're having a conversation with somebody and, they say something that maybe it's off color to you or like you find disrespectful or offensive, you're going to have a thought about it. And then you're going to have a feeling about it. And then you're going to react or not act. So this thing about having, we're just going to use the word feeling, even though it's really emotion, for the sake of simplicity, because that's how most people understand it. So you have this feeling of saying, oh, hold on to the feeling, hold on to the emotions, and that's how you're going to get your desire. And that's actually the harder way, because we're not designed that way. So if you are trying to hold on to the feeling of it, the emotion of it, in order for you to get your desire, that's harder and it's not sustainable. The easier way is to do it the way you're created to succeed. The easier way is to do it the way you're wired. So when you are wanting to feel into it, what you need to embed is the new thought. What is the new thought? That's how you embody it. You want to embody the new thought. It will organically create the feelings, the emotions, and that will organically then give you the right actions. You know, they'll be inspired, they'll be spot on. They're like, yeah, chef's kiss, and then you'll get a different outcome. So when you're trying to tap into the emotion and trying to hold on to it for dear life, you're like, why isn't this working? Because you're not doing it in a way that you were wired to succeed. You're doing it the hard way. And when I was thinking about this earlier, I was like, oh, well, people like to watch. And for those of you who are like, what is a rampage? Basically, you're saying a thought, and the thoughts, you know, there's another thought, you just keep on saying it and saying it. And the different things. There's nothing mystical about a rampage. For those of you who are watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's nothing magical about it. It is how you're wired to succeed. When you, and this is, I talked about this last time as well, that 17-second holding a thought is also bullshit. It's bullshit, because that's the way your brain is wired. You automatically do it. And then we get fascinated because we're like, ooh, that seems so magical, so mystical. And it's just science. It is the way you're wired. You do it anyway by default when you think about a negative thought. You've been doing this thought after thought after thought after thought, and then you get an emotion, and then, you know, whatever happens after the emotion, whether you do something or not, you've been doing this practice of rampaging, but you've been doing it in the negative sense. So that's how you know it works, because you've already been doing it. What you don't understand is that this is how you're wired to succeed. You are wired to take ownership of your life, to create your own reality. How? Through the Joshua 1:8 method. You will meditate. It tells us there specifically to meditate on God's word day and night, and so you will find success. You're going to find success when, based on your meditation, whatever is good and pure and perfect. When you are thinking about peace and joy, all those juicy things of life, because that's how you're wired. When you think in terms of love, then all those things connected to love that you're thinking about, you're meditating. And so what is meditating? Muttering to yourself, rampaging, saying it out loud, muttering here, muttering in here. And so when those thoughts come in, right? People have heard the 17-second, it has nothing to do with 17 seconds. You're thinking it, and then your brain says, oh, is that what we're thinking about? Let me give you another thought that matches it. You don't need to hold nothing for no 17 seconds. It'll give you another thought that matches that, because when you are focusing on something and you've done this already in the negative, that's how you know it works. Think about it. I'll wait. Think about an argument you just had with somebody not too long ago, and all the thoughts that were coming up, and even the thoughts that are coming up now. Stop. Now, think about the last time you had a belly laugh, like you were laughing so hard, you were crying. All the thoughts that are coming now to that. Stop. That's how powerful you are. You can go into chemical bliss or chemical chaos. You get to decide that, because you have been created in the image and likeness of God. You've been created to function like him. And meditation is what we do. That word in Joshua 1:8 and describe this meditation means mutter to yourself, imagine, roar out, meditate. It's very dynamic, and we are created to meditate. We're doing it all the time. So when we are taking a thought that causes the feeling. So if you want to feel differently, then you start taking a new thought. That is it. God levels a playing field. This is grace. This is mercy. When you have awareness of a thought that's not serving you, there are thoughts that you believe that are not serving you. Maybe they even served you up to a point, but you're being called for more. You're being called to come into this next thing. So you're thinking about like the law of attraction. It's not really attracting. You're actually magnetized. It's not really the law of attraction. It's the law of magnetism, because you're not attracting things this way. You're actually pulling it you're also going this way. It's both ways. People are being magnetized to you, and you're being magnetized to those people or the situation or the circumstances, because you're never going to go any further than how you see and feel about yourself. And so the feelings to attract what you want are only based on the thoughts that you're thinking. So if you change your thoughts, if you embody a new thought, you will have a different feeling, a different emotion, a different perception. And because of the perception, because of the thoughts, you have the feelings, you'll have different results organically. The how would just show up, and then you'll have different results. So it's not the feelings, it's not you holding on to the feelings and the desires that are actually causing your desires to manifest. It is your thought about it. Who do you think you are? What are you thinking? What is a new thought that you can embody? And so how do you do that? There's different ways for you to embody it. And if you need help with that, you can just go right here so you can rewrite your story. I have a whole bunch of resources there when you join the society. So many things. And one of the ways that you do it is that your brain loves is repetition. What can you do? I call it the 1% model. When you invest in yourself, 1% of your day, which is less than 15 minutes, it is 14 minutes and 40 seconds. Like you're investing in yourself right now. It is we all know about the compound effect, mutual funds, how over time something happens. The frog in the water, right? That compound effect, your brain loves. It loves it because that's one of the ways it learned. Another way is when you go into self-hypnosis, do guided meditations, things like that. I've been doing EFTs, gentle. It likes gentle. It doesn't like to be forced. Do you like to be forced to do anything? No, neither does your brain. The thoughts that you're thinking, there's nothing wrong with you. The thoughts that you're thinking, you've only been thinking them the last 60 to 90 days. So if you would give yourself grace, put yourself on a regimen. You don't have to do the whole 90 days. Do 21 days. What is the one thought that you want to replace? Let me know below. I can help you think about a replacement thought. You can borrow one of mine because you're beautifully and wonderfully made. You're made in the image of God. You are created to function like Him. There is grace and mercy available to you. And this is part of it. Embodying a new thought. And the first 3 or 4 days is going to suck. It's going to suck because you're doing something new. You might start having a lot of imposter syndromes and this didn't work before. Why should it work right now? Blah, 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 blah. Right? When you ask your brain the wrong question, it's like it's your inner AI. Depending on what you ask is the output you're going to receive. And so if you ask your brain, if you say out loud or you're muttering to yourself, you're starting to meditate through muttering, either here or here, and saying, well, I don't know if this is working. And then your brain will like, nope, it's not working because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've tried these affirmations before and they didn't work. You tried the scripting before and it didn't work. It's not going to work this time. And it's because you didn't have understanding. I'm also going to link below the 4 stages of manifestation that I've done in this series, because those 2 things between yesterday's and like the day before, I think it was the day before that, not yesterday's, last week's, is really going to help you, give you understanding. And you need understanding. Nothing has gone wrong. You think that you're a hot mess. No, it's just you need to clean up your mindset. When you clean up your mind, when you renew your mind on purpose every single day, when you purposely sow into yourself, you're going to get such a dynamic ROI. You are the best seed to sow in. Sow in yourself. Spend time in yourself. It is seed, time, harvest. Seed and harvest. In between is time. That's the hallway. And you can change your thought in a second. That's what I do with my one-on-one clients. Every person. My results are typical. Every single person that I've had a one breakthrough now session with, every single one of them has gotten a breakthrough. What does that mean? Their thought life had radically changed. Their belief system radically changed by the time I was done with them. It didn't take that long, a few minutes. They came in one way, imposter syndrome, filled with fear, worry, anxiety, spending time with me, and then they shifted. And everything started to shift for them after that. This series is around that. So you can join us in the society where I do all this stuff and you get to spend a lot of time with me. And there are a lot of resources. So you can go ahead and Netflix your way to Embodying the New Thought. You can book with me one-on-one, or you can just go through this series. So do you have to invest monetarily in yourself? No. But when you do, you go faster, right? If you want to do it on your own, you can. That's what this series is about. Go through the series and then do it yourself, and you will get the results. You will. I promise you that you will. 100%. But again, if you want to go faster, you join us in the society, or you go one-on-one on me to go even faster than that. But there's no excuses. You get to take your power back right now by embodying the new thought. And if you can't find it, that's what this series is about, giving you the resources and the tools that you need in order to find the thought that's actually not serving you anymore. Maybe it was serving you, like I said before, up to this point. But if you want to go somewhere new, you need to embed something new. So like, and I'm going to be talking about identity in the next round. You have to become that person. How are you going to become that person if you don't even know what that looks like, what that feels like? You don't know. But you can embed a new thought. And that new thought will create the emotions you need, the feelings you need in order for you then to respond like that person, like that identity, because you're embodying it. Everyone's doing this the hard way. It is not hard. It's not hard. It's about taking the time to invest in yourself. And if you do that, I promise you, if you do that for yourself, 1% of your day, and start to embody the new thought. I do this with my one-on-one clients and in the ARC. The ARC is my inner circle. We do something, it's like 6 minutes long. That's it. Every single day. It is 6 minutes long. And we're having amazing results. Why? Because we're taking the time to embody these new thoughts. You're doing it anyway. You're doing things by default. You might as well start doing things by design, because you don't have to hold on to the feelings or the emotions. That'll take care of itself. Most of the things, even me retiring myself from corporate, didn't come from like this holding on to the feeling, and none of that. None of that. I didn't even know about it. I made a decision. I got some instructions in prayer and meditation, and I was like, okay. And that was it. Your decision is your plumb line. Make a decision that it is this easy. And when you decide it is that easy, it will be easy for you. Because that's how we're designed. That's how we're wired to succeed. Make a decision. And once you make that plumb line decision, all your other decisions of yes and no will be so much easier to do. But it really is easier than you're making it. You've been making it too hard. And this is grace. This is mercy. God is reaching out to you saying, I love you, but honey, you are doing it the hard way. Honey, I love you. I want you to have that abundance. I want you to have that healing. I want you to have that healed marriage. I want you to have what you're asking for, but you're doing it the hard way. And that's why you're frustrated. And that's why you're burned out. You get to choose today. It's being put in front of you. You can choose life or death. You can choose the love system or the fear one. You get to choose that. Every time you entertain a thought more than a second, you get to choose. Are you choosing life, abundance, love, grace, joy, peace? Or are you choosing fear, worry, anxiety, depression? You get to choose. And is it easy at first? No. This is why with the society, you get 24/7 texting coaching with me. It's only $97 a month. 24/7 coaching if you don't want to do the one-to-one. You can do it yourself. Absolutely you can. I did a lot of things by myself. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have options that I knew of. So can you do it yourself? Yes, you can. That's why I'm giving you these resources. This is why I'm doing this series. To let you know it's not as hard as you're making it. But you do need to purposely confront those thoughts that are not serving you any longer. What is not confronted is not changed. And if you're ready for change, then this is your, what is it called? Confirmation. This is your sign. This is your sign. Yes, it's time for your change. And you have been given the power and authority as a free moral agent. You get to co-create your reality. And the way it's done is through one embodied thought. You're just one thought away. You're literally one thought away. Are you going to invest in yourself? I hope so. Until next time, which will be very, very soon, may God's riches and best be